Jay, so one of the things that I believe is really important in relationships, and I know you do as well, is communication. So we were having this conversation off camera, and you brought up the importance of active listening and communication, and why sometimes we listen to respond and not listen to understand. So I'd like for you just to expound on that for our audience.
So, why people choose to do it, or what?
Yeah, why people choose to do it, and what the negative ramifications are of that over a time.
I think that the majority of people don't choose to do it. I think that the small amount of people who do choose to do it are control freaks. But I think that people don't understand that listening is a skill. And like any other skill, you have to learn how to properly listen. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Listening is not something that don't come from, you can't get that without practice. You can't get that without actively trying to do it. And a lot of people just don't know how to do it. That's why you have therapists who go to school for all these years and become doctors to learn. That's a part of it. Coaches, people like that, who actually learn this trait, because it's a gift, it's a skill. And also you gotta have some selflessness, because it can get intoxicating hearing the sound of your own voice to a lot of people, because you just know you're right. You just know what you're saying is right. You know your thought process is right. And sometimes people think that the intent means more than anything else. I know what I'm saying. I know how I intended to come out. That don't have anything to do with what people are getting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So again, you think about that person who was hitting somebody on the chest playing, and when they say, "Oh, that hurt," man, that don't hurt. How can you tell them? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't think it hurt. You don't even want to hear them saying that it hurt. You already turned your ears off to it. So in relationships, just go with the selfish people. That's the minority, I think, are the ones who just like, I want to dominate. I want to dominate the conversation. I want to dominate what's going on. But then you have the other side. The majority is just like, it's all off emotions. Maybe something happened in the past. Maybe they feel away. Maybe they're afraid. Maybe this is a protection scenario. It's like, if I let him or her say this, it's going to be this for me. So I'm going to say what I need to say first. Or they're talking to me, but I got something on my mind to say, and I'm not hearing that. I got to get this out. So as they say, you're listening to respond, not to understand. And again, it's not easy. It's not an easy task. It's not something you can do without trying, actively, practicing and just saying, hey, all right, cool. I'm going to really listen. I'm going to hesitate before I respond. I'm going to ask questions to get understanding, get clarity. These are things, call it mirroring, using my coaching training. You can mirror somebody and find out, hey, make sure you're clear on what they're saying. But in the meantime, because you can't multitask, but your brain can. So while you're getting that information, your brain is actually doing what it needs to do. So now you can actually come back with something legitimate. That's why arguments don't work a lot. That's why when you see a legitimate argument, which is called a debate, happening, they give each other a chance to talk. So nobody's interrupted. Everybody can properly articulate their argument. And then you can actually, and it's winners by who's able to articulate, not whose position was right or wrong. Everybody's thought is their thought. Everybody's opinion is their opinion. But if you can't successfully articulate your opinion, then you lose. This happens in relationships. A lot of times, the people who can't successfully articulate their opinion yells or interrupts the other person, or don't listen. They just want to yell and say something to dominate the conversation. All of these things come into play. So I think that, like I said in the beginning, is not something I don't believe that majority of people do. I think it's an ignorance in that, where a lot more people don't even know that they're doing what they're doing. They don't understand the science of it. And people who have to get trained for years to become doctors and therapists and things like that go through these trainings and coaches for a reason. Because to do it successfully, you have to learn. It's a learned behavior. It's not just something you just jump out on the street and do it well.